So now we looked at what happens if the point is in the first quadrant. Okay? Now what happens if the point is in the second quadrant? The x is negative. That's right. Okay? So give me a point in the second quadrant. Did we stick with the same numbers?
No, negative 3.
Negative 3, 5. Let's stick with the same points. Okay. Same numbers. All right. Make it easy for us, no? X and Y.
Notice the difference
Yeah.
between 3 and 4.
So let's draw this. So 1, 2, 3. I know they're not to scale. 5. So my point is about here. Okay? And if I'm going to draw my terminal arm, it's going to be again from the origin to the point. So where is my angle? From the positive x-axis to the terminal. Okay? So what are you expecting here? Obtuse, acute, obtuse, right? Now, if I'm going to draw a triangle, right? I can't draw the triangle like back to the first quadrant to include this, right? So I can't draw like one here because then that's not right. Okay, to include this whole angle. So I have to draw my triangle in the quadrant. Okay, so I told you that you have to draw your triangle down to the x-axis. You know how many times I have to repeat this? Because at the end, some people will like to draw one like this. Yeah. Okay, so this is my triangle, right? And this is my right angle. Now, in this triangle, my obtuse angle is not included, right? It's outside. But what did we learn yesterday about? We learned about supplementary angles, right? And what are supplementary angles? Some will be 180. So if I'm looking for my obtuse angle, right? My supplementary acute angle is the one that's in here in this triangle, right? So this here, this is my obtuse angle, this is my principal angle. Remember these words, okay? Principal angles, principal angle. Actually, principal is PLE. This means the principal of this floor. And this is the supplementary acute angle. That's the acronym for it, SAA. Okay? What do we know about supplementary angles when it comes to sine, cosine, and tan? They equal. All of them are negative, right? But the same value. Okay? Remember that. They're the same value. So if you get like sine of 60 and sine of 120, they're going to be exactly the same thing. Remember that from yesterday, right? Yes? Yep. Okay. Now, so that means if I deal with this angle, it should give me the same answer for sine, cosine, and tan as the obtuse one. Okay? Because we know that. We learned that. Now, looking at this angle, we're going to call it angle A. Okay? Looking at this, what do we call this side? Opposite, which is Y. Okay? This side here, adjacent, which is X. And this side here, hypotenuse, which is R. Okay? Let's find R. R squared equals X squared plus Y squared. I have, negative 3 squared. see I put the negative in brackets. I have to, because the whole -3 is squared. Okay?
It becomes positive.
It becomes positive. If you don't put it in bracket, you're going to mess it up.
It becomes negative.
So that's going to be 9 plus 25, which is 34. So odd is equal to square root of 34. Okay? That did not change. And I'm not surprised. Now, what's sine A? What was the formula for it? Using y and r and x? Y over r. My y value is 5. Positive? Are you surprised that sine is positive in this quadrant? Is that what we learned yesterday?
Yes.
Sine is positive for both acute and obtuse.
Yeah, the other two is negative.
The other two are negative. Let's see if that's going to turn out. Let's see. So cosine A is x over r. What's the value of x? -3 over square root of 34. Is it negative? So now you know why. Now you know why cosine of obtuse are going to be negative.
Because it's in the second.
It's in the second quadrant and x is negative in the second quadrant. How about tan? Y over x, which is 5 over -3. Again, negative. 10 is negative, and we know that. 10 is going to be negative in the second quadrant. Why? Because x is negative. Did you guys make the connection here?
Yes.
Did we expect cosine and tan to be negative? We did, because that's what we explored yesterday. Because this whole big angle, the obtuse angle, the principal obtuse angle, right? It's obtuse. So cosine and tan are going to be negative for obtuse angles. Now, let's find the angle. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to get the sine people to use the sine ratio to find the angle. Cosine people, I want you to use the cosine ratio to find the angle. Tan people, I want you to use the tan ratio to find the angle.
121.
So, which one did you use? The cosine? So you found 121. Okay.
10 is negative 59.
It's not the same, right?
And that's why I'm giving you different things. What did you get?
Complicated, really. 59. Negative 59.
No, you got 59 for
No,
sine.
I mean the
For sine
tangent.
is-
No, I want you to use sine.
Oh, sorry. 59.
Huh? I didn't tell you this is an easy lesson,
I know,
did I?
no, but
Okay. So if, no matter what I use, like if I use all 3 different ones, I'm getting 3 different answers. Why is that?
because you're looking at angle A.
Angle A is the supplementary acute angle, right? So, but I need to find my principal angles. I need to find both of them, okay? Which one gives me the acute angle?
The cube.
The acute. Sine gives me the acute, right? Which one is giving me the obtuse angle? Cosine. What's happening with tan? It's confusing.
So we have to minus from 360, so it will give me positive.
Yeah, but if I do that, then it's going to give me the one in the 4th quadrant, and I don't want that. I don't care about that.
You have to subtract it by, because since we won the second quadrant, so we have to subtract that by 180 to get.
So when it comes to this, forget about the negative. When it comes to solving something like this, if you decide to use tan, forget about the negative. Okay? The reason for this is because 10 is negative in the fourth quadrant as well. And the calculators are programmed to give you the answer in the fourth quadrant, in the negative. So they're totally programmed like in a messed up way. Not only university, in a messed up way. Even the university, they have to do more work to get the answer. Okay? So that when they programmed the 10, right, if 10 is negative, they programmed it to give you an answer in this quadrant clockwise. Okay? We're going to ignore that. Okay? You're going to use just the 59, but you always have to remember that 59 is just my acute angle. I need to find my obtuse angle. Right? So in this case, you're finding two. You're finding the principal angle, which is the obtuse one, and you're finding the supplementary acute angle, which is the acute one. Okay? So that doesn't mean the answers are wrong. It just means you need to use your thinking, you need to use your knowledge to be able to find the correct answer. So here's what you're going to have to report to me. You're going to have to say the following. You're going to have to say that angle is, what did we say it is? 121? Okay? Because that's the obtuse one. And the supplementary acute angle is 59 degrees.
Excuse me. Is it related to the cosine or is it related to the 180 minus the sine?
Both.
Both of them?
They both work. The same thing.
Okay. Mhm.
Right?
So every
If
case
you
can be
find, if you use the sine and it give you 59, right? Then you can do 180 minus 59 to give you this one. Right? If you use cosine and it gave you 121, right? You can do 180 minus 121 to give you this one. Right? So no matter which way you do it, you can either subtract 180, right? To find the other angle, or you can actually use the sine and the cosine inverse to find the answers. Yeah?
Just at all. So when we were doing before sine A, cosine A,
Yes,
tan A,
you got the same.
we are always looking at angle A.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden cosine A's answer 121 is outside of the triangle.
No. Cosine A, right? It's giving you the obtuse angle. This is how the calculator is programmed.
Like the whole
Okay.
angle it will give us for the cosine.
I did not say hey Siri, so you can stop talking.
Apple actually got in trouble for listening to people on Siri.
Yeah. Okay, so what's happening here is that I know what you mean because we do cos A, because we wrote A. But because we use the negative, right? When it comes to cos A, it's going to give you an obtuse angle. Okay? Just remember always that A and the principal angle, they're supplementary angles. Okay? So when it gives you A to be 121, it doesn't actually mean A. It actually means the principal angle that's outside. Okay? Because it's a negative, so it will give you the obtuse angle. Okay? I know it's confusing. And I do understand where you're coming from and what your question is, but you just have to, that's why I did not report it as angle A. I reported it as the principal angle and the supplementary acute angle. I never reported it as angle A.
Like both
Okay.
angles. So we started from the x, so all the way down to the. And they're gonna be
To the terminal line.
To the, yeah, so it changed to the negative side, like to the negative x. So
Yes.
it becomes like both angles, total gonna be like 121, right?
No. This angle here is going to be 121.
121.
This angle is going to be 59. The total of both angles is going to be 108. Okay? you have a question? I saw your hand up.
It's not a question, it's just the way I was taught.
Mm-hmm.
So like the easiest way, I guess, instead of using the cos or sine, like would this always work? Because I think like if you find the angle for A and
Mhm.
then subtract that by 180, that would still end up giving us the principal angle to the obtuse angle, right?
Yeah. So that's what I said. You can either do that, right? Find angle A using sine, and then you can do 180 minus that. Okay. Or if you want to use, because sometimes they only give you cosine. They tell you, okay, cosine A is this. Find angle A and find the supplementary A. Right? So you have to know how to do both ways. Okay? Just remember that the angle A and the principal angle, they're supplementary. So they're supplementing each other to add to 180. Okay?
Can we do this what's it called method in the first quadrant?
In the first quadrant, they're all going to give you the same angle. There's no obtuse angle. So I'll talk about that in a second. Just one second. Okay, so if I give you this, I'm just gonna do. What do we call this angle? Acute. Is it the principal angle or is it the supplementary? It's principal. Anytime you're measuring from the positive x-axis to the terminal arm is your principal angle. So this is your principal angle. Because your principal angle is acute, then this angle here is an obtuse angle, and we call that the supplementary obtuse angle. Okay? So supplementary obtuse angle. Okay? If your principal angle, if the principal angle is acute, obtuse, I said? I don't know what I did. If your principal angle is obtuse, then this angle right here is your supplementary acute angle. Okay? So this would be SOA, this would be SAA. Okay? All right. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do, you're going to do example 1. So suppose angle C is 123 degrees. Using your calculator, determine the trig ratio for angle C, round to 4 decimal place. So what are the trig ratio? Sine, cosine, and tan. Okay, so do that.